Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.87, inching closer and closer to $3. And right now, the chart for XRP looks great. But people are calling for a triple bottom, another drop down to around $2.84 before the next move up. But again, nobody knows what's going to happen in this market. Everybody is still guessing and speculating. Look at Bitcoin back to 114K. Hopefully, this is the breakout we've been waiting for. And everybody's calling for alt season. Is this the start of alt season? I think it's way too early to call still. And even if you look at the alt season chart, we're at 65, but we're holding steady. Once we get above 75, you all know it will then be alt season. But how accurate is this chart? I mean, it's based on previous cycles, and we've seen this in the past. But I think what it is this. You see what's going on in the market. When XRP starts to break out, of course, this is going to go above 75. Most likely, it just runs with the XRP chart or the Bitcoin chart. Final shakeout before the 2025 alt season. XRP to $20. The chart doesn't lie. 2017, 2021, and now 2025. But is this the final shakeout? Nobody really knows. You know, we could see some real world event play out right now and bringing this whole market right back down. We've seen it time and time again. And Blockchain Backer, I don't watch his videos no more because I make videos and I don't want to sound like someone else. But I always thought Blockchain Backer was great at calling the charts. He says there are a series of indicators emerging in the crypto market that are nearly identical to what happened at 2021's top, unless if the RTY and Total 2 breakout. I'll be highlighting these all week. So he's calling for the top at a time where we are about to see a lot of XRP ETFs go live. That looks like it's going to happen at any moment now. It might not even take until the middle or end of October. And he's already calling the top. I don't agree with that. I think it was his conviction to say that, maybe. I don't know. But if you look at everything that's going on right now, there's no way the top is in on crypto. And of course, the narrative is XRP is dead, but history suggests otherwise. You know, everybody that looks at this chart, how the hell can you say XRP is dead? You know, they were saying it back here as well. Then this happened. Now, because it's going sideways again, all of a sudden, XRP's boring. Everybody wants to sell it. I can't believe XRP is not sitting above $6 already. Why does it seem like it's stuck around $3? Listen, we are going to see an epic run. All you got to do is make it until it happens. Anybody that looks at the XRP chart right now and thinks that this cycle is over, they're completely wrong. And anybody looking at this chart and wanting to sell their XRP, I don't know what they've been drinking, but this chart is the most bullish chart in all of crypto. XRP news, token sees $93 million inflows as ETF decision nears. Like I said, we're going to see more and more people now position themselves. They're not going to wait until the middle of the month because the SEC, they changed the rules on these ETFs. So they could go live as soon as right now. We could just get that announcement and all of a sudden the ETFs go live. But people want to be positioned in this space. Anybody that's still on the sidelines, they're going to be paying much higher prices for XRP. There's an 83% chance of a government shutdown this week, per Poly Market. Me personally, I don't think they're going to shut down the government. I think it's going to be another one of those last minute things where they build up all this hype. Oh, they're going to shut the government down. Everything's going to fall apart. And then right away, at the last minute, they're going to say they came to a deal. And the government is not going to shut down. But people were saying that a government shutdown is bullish for crypto. And Govt does not agree. Says, no, a U.S. government shutdown is generally not bullish for crypto in the short term. It tends to introduce heightened uncertainty, regulatory delays, and broader market volatility that pressures risk assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins, often leading to sell-offs and liquidations. However, there are niche bullish arguments rooted in Bitcoin's narrative as a hedge against institutional dysfunction, though historically and current data show mixed or negative impacts overall. So it's not bullish for crypto like everybody is saying. And that seems to be the narrative right now. Shut the government down. XRP will skyrocket. We'll be going to the moon if that happens. But I didn't think it was bullish either, because that slows everything down again. You know, what are we waiting for right now? Clarity coming from the U.S. government. If they shut the government down, that only delays clarity, most likely into 2026. XRP explosion ahead. Analysts outline longevity and a bold $200 target. Of course, the market turns green and people are calling for a $200 XRP once again. Listen, I look at the chart, and the chart to me tells me we are going to see some crazy numbers, especially if you factor in all the catalysts for XRP. But to say that we're going to $200, I would say let's get above $30 first. Let's get above $4 first. And everybody was predicting a $4 XRP by the end of September. I even thought the same thing was going to happen. Because if you looked at the chart throughout the month of September, it looked so many times like we were about to have that serious breakout for XRP. Then all of a sudden, we had more tariff talk. We had conflicts happening in the Middle East. We had those threats up in Alaska with the U.S. jets and the bombers from Russia. It seemed like every time something looked good, something brought this market back down. We even had OG Bitcoin holders waking up and selling off their Bitcoin. I still think that's going to continue to happen. You know, the OG Bitcoin holders from the past, if they were to talk about where Bitcoin is right now today, they would be disgusted with it. You know, Bitcoin was always anti-government, anti-bank, anti-US dollar. And what are the modern day Bitcoin maxis calling for? The government to buy Bitcoin. It's because they want them to bail out their bags. And I think the OGs are no longer on board with this and the direction Bitcoin's going in. So, of course, they're starting to sell off now. Millionaire Trader says, mark my words, XRP next leg up will be fast and aggressive. I don't know if it's going to be the next leg up that's going to be fast and aggressive. But I know when the breakout begins, and the next leg might only take us just under $3, and then we come back down once again. But when XRP finally does break out, it will absolutely be fast and aggressive. We see how fast XRP moves, and that's the same reason I always tell people, you know, you're not too late to XRP, but I would buy as soon as possible. because when the breakout begins, it's going to leave a lot of people behind. And people that are FOMOing in, they're going to be FOMOing in above $4, above $5, above $6, and so on. You know, once XRP gets above $5, there's nothing holding it back. It's in full-blown price discovery, and nobody knows where it's going to stop. And the run between $5 and $10 is going to be so quick. That space in there, there's literally nothing. No sell walls, nothing. Because most people still don't believe XRP will ever get above $5. There's people that don't think that XRP will go above $4 still. But yet this cryptocurrency always seems to prove them wrong. And the same thing is going to happen again. And as an XRP investor, you sit back and you just stay patient and you wait for it to happen. But like I said at the beginning of this video, we're still sitting here around $2.87. Very close to $3, but just not quite there yet. And I think it's way too early to say we are in alt season. And it sure as hell is way too early to say this was the final dip. Because every time you say that, right away what happens? Another dip plays out. But there's a lot of frustrated people in the comment section. And they're always like, you know, you said it was going to be at this price on this day. And I keep telling you, nobody could call this market. Nobody. I give you what the narrative is coming from other people, like the chart guys and the other people that are bullish. I like to give you a range of where we are right now, and if things are changing, if people's predictions are changing based on the ETFs coming. Because I want to keep you going, I want to keep you positive, but I also want to give you an idea about what's about to happen. But back here, when I was telling everybody that they should be loading up on XRP back then, nobody wanted to hear it. Then this happened, and right away, everybody was like, well, I should have bought more XRP. And now I'm telling you again, we are going much, much higher. This is the time you load up. This isn't the time that you sell, because today XRP went sideways, or today XRP had a downtrend. You buy whatever you could afford, you sit back and you wait for it to happen, because everybody is going to make money over the coming weeks and the coming months. But you got to be here for it. You got to keep your crypto safe. You got to keep that optimism going. And then when it happens, you will be so happy that you positioned yourself while you still can. And until it does happen, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.